What change drastically improved your life? Story 1. I stopped living just for the weekend. When you work 5 days a week and only have 2 days off, it's unhealthy to constantly wait for those days. You can plan something meaningful or fun every day, even if it's small. Life's a marathon. Find joy daily. At the end of each day, you should feel it was great or well spent. Story 2. Learning new skills and preparing for your career, especially in your teens when you have more time and learn faster, is incredibly useful and fun. It opens doors, broadens your perspective, and bulks up your resume. The internet offers free resources. Use them while they're available. You never know when that might change. Story 3. I packed up and moved thousands of miles away, leaving everything behind to start fresh. With just some debts, a suitcase, and contact with non-toxic people, it's been incredibly liberating. Looking back, nothing truly stopped me before. I just made excuses until one day I ran out of them. Story 4. Moving closer to work cut my commute from 45 miserable minutes in traffic, hating the taillights ahead, to a pleasant 15-minute bike ride. I gained an hour of free time daily and better health. Story 5. 5 years ago, I started a mental trick. For small tasks, I count to 3 and do them. 1, 2, 3, put on workout clothes. 1, 2, 3, wash that glass. I promised myself I'd only count for tasks under 10 minutes and never back out after counting. It's amazing how many life problems are solved by overcoming small moments of inertia. My motivation, health, career, and finances improved dramatically. It sounds silly, but this strategy transformed my life. Story 6. A friend with an incredible personality loved partying but spiraled after a car accident in junior year of high school, breaking bones and getting hooked on prescribed pills. He barely graduated and most lost contact, assuming he'd become a delinquent. Years later, a mutual friend's suicide shook him. He got into investing, ditched toxic friends, attended college, graduated in under 4 years, and now works at a prestigious bank earning 6 figures, posting lavish vacations on Facebook. It was a radical change. Story 7. A guy I know was constantly exhausted, sleeping deeply during the day and falling asleep anywhere. He felt tired all the time, assuming it was insomnia, but refused to see a doctor. After a drunken breakdown, we cared for him all night, likely due to his exhaustion. He finally saw a doctor who diagnosed severe sleep apnea, warning he was near a heart attack or stroke. Now, using a sleep mask, he's transformed, more energetic, with skyrocketing school performance. Story 8. Swapping TV for reading. I've read 19 books since, and my mental health has drastically improved. I'm not sure if it's the reading itself, but it's the biggest change I've made. Story 9. After my dad left, my mom was depressed for a year, then dove into self-improvement. She joined volunteer groups, met new people, became popular in her town, goes out nightly with friends, and has a lover funding her motorcycle trips across Europe. She joined a gym, lost weight, and started caring about her appearance. 2 years ago, I heard her sobbing in the shower. Now she's a powerhouse. Story 10. Being selfish. Growing up, I saw my mom do everything for people who didn't care. I was doing the same, becoming an emotional, financial, and functional mess. I re-examined my life, cut out unnecessary people, and overcame guilt. I'm thriving now and proud of my progress. I just wish my mom would do the same. Story 11. Letting go. I had relationships where I was pressured into things I didn't want, with partners claiming I didn't love them because they'd done things for me. I'm bad at physical affection and intimacy due to family issues and past trauma from an ex. In my last relationship, I explained up front I was job hunting to afford therapy and needed time and patience. He didn't get it, guilt-tripping me when he lied or stood me up, saying I did nothing for him. I thought I was the problem, but I realized he wanted to avoid accountability. In Latin America, We're raised with learned helplessness from violence and patriarchal pride, believing we're always right. Being a better person means understanding yourself and not pleasing everyone. If someone doesn't respect your boundaries, let them go no matter how much you love them. Story 12. I started seeing things as potential experiences, not just achievement opportunities. Before, I focused only on grades in classes or avoided books I thought were too hard or long. I realized classes and books are for learning, and tough ones teach the most, even if I didn't ace them. I began doing things for the experience, not the outcome. Even if I was terrible, I was there to learn. This applied socially too. I took more risks, seeing them as learning opportunities. A saying stuck with me: it's only a failure if you stop trying. Otherwise, it's an experiment. Story 13. Accepting adversity as part of any process. Adversity can overwhelm us, but looking forward, it shrinks and makes sense. In high school, I started biking daily after school. It boosted my attitude, motivation, school enjoyment, and fitness, and I finished homework earlier. Story 14. I grew up solitary, not fitting in outside the internet, so I created an illusion of a perfect friend I'd love forever. Years ago, I met someone 90% like that imaginary friend and projected all my frustrated dreams onto her, leading to disappointment when she didn't meet my lifelong expectations. I felt I'd never find a true friend, but I learned no one will magically be that perfect illusion from my childhood. My real friend is still great, even if not my fantasy. I'm slowly letting go of expecting people to match that illusion, valuing them for who they are, not how close they are to my wounded child's dream. Expressing myself is hard. I was never allowed to, so I internalized everything. A diary sounds tempting, a safe place for thoughts, feelings, and goals, especially for those like me who struggle to speak. Story 15. Spending a night in jail. A friend, a good guy with an impressionable personality, hung out with bad influences, racking up debts buying substances. He lost one job for showing up high and was a mess. After a DUI fine and a night in jail, he was shaken, saying, "I never want to end up like those people." A year later, he stayed clean, got promoted, pays rent on time, and limits himself to a couple of beers. He hasn't shared much about that night, but it put him on the right path. Story 16. A close friend called me at 3 a.m., sobbing and venting about his problems. I talked with him until 10 a.m. That afternoon, we checked him into rehab. A year later, over lunch, he grabbed my hand, nearly crying, saying my answering the phone saved his life. Story 17. My sister was in a toxic relationship with a wannabe tough guy who belittled her. She loves nature, hiking, and is studying to be a forest biologist. He hated the outdoors and animals, and they clashed, but she stayed because she feared being alone. She met a great guy at her new job who loves hiking, animals, and her company, and bought his own truck with savings. It was a wake-up call. She realized decent men exist. She dumped her ex and started dating the new guy the same day. We worried about the quick switch, but he's a funny, social, good guy. 3 or 4 years later, my sister's financially independent, excelling in classes, and has a better outlook. Story 18. Quitting League of Legends, LOL. A friend spent all his free time playing even when it didn't seem fun, like a compulsion. He was grumpy regardless of winning or losing. His sleep schedule was so messed up he'd miss social events. He quit cold turkey after realizing its negative impact, started eating better, no more microwave junk, exercising, caring about his appearance, sleeping normally, and socializing beyond class. In months, he went from a stereotypical neckbeard freshman to a happy, healthy college student. Story 19. In high school, a kid was always goofing off, getting in trouble, and didn't care about school. In senior year, he took advanced calculus and got into a great college. The yearbook revealed his cousin told him to stop fooling around and focus on school to avoid a bad future. He did just that. Story 20. 2 years ago, I was deeply depressed, a hollow shell waiting for something to push me over the edge. My favorite number is 27, so I decided to wait until my 27th birthday to end it. With 6 months left, I started psychotherapy. My psychiatrist adjusted my medication, which was too low, and helped me develop coping skills without trivializing my issues. By 27, I felt better and got a job at a great company that values my ideas. I gained 50 kilos during my depression and could barely function, so I saved for gastric sleeve surgery, losing over 50 kilos in 9 months. I'd burned bridges with friends, so I'm socially isolated but saved money for a house. At 28, I'm happy to be alive, hopeful, and excited for the future. Story 21. Hiring a cleaner. I grew up in a low-income household, thinking only the super rich had maids. I'm middle class and my wife and I work full-time with busy lives. We found a local cleaner for a monthly deep clean. Dusting, floors, bathrooms, costing about the same as a date night. We handle daily chores, but this keeps us on top of everything. Story 22. Hiring a sleep coach for my kids' sleep issues. No radical changes, just small tweaks tracked via a shared spreadsheet for 2 weeks. The improvement was incredible. Kids slept more, were happier, and behaved better. My husband and I gained evening time, a calmer home, and more sleep. We hesitated due to cost, but it was a game changer for our quality of life. Story 23. Improving my finances and health. I should have saved for retirement in my 20s. Now in my 50s, I'll likely retire abroad to stretch my money. I also fixed my deviated septum in my 40s. What a difference. Breathing through your nose is crucial for dentistry, sleep, eating, and exercise. A week of recovery led to a huge lifestyle improvement. Story 24. Buying a decent mattress, or at least a good topper. Since puberty, I couldn't fall asleep quickly, tossing for hours. I assumed it was insomnia and avoided sleeping pills. Tired of sleepless nights, I bought a quality foam mattress topper. I've never slept better, falling asleep in minutes, waking energized with a better outlook. Adding a good foam pillow made it paradise.